Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. Trisha here. Today I'm just going to do a wee video on, I went to the big wholesalers up in Belfast and I picked up like 2.5 kg bags of frozen peas and the same of sweet corn. And these have been taking up a lot of room in my freezer. So my idea is I'm going to jar them up, put them on the shelf. Excuse me. I don't have a big freezer, and what space I have in it is valuable to me for other things. So that's my logic on this. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this step by step. So bear with me. I'll just get my hair tied up. Don't like having my hair down in the kitchen, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that's the hair tied back. Right, so I've opened my bag of peas here and I've just got them in this little holder. I don't want to put them into another container in case there's any. Just fix you there, you're a bit sideways. I know these peas have been processed through the factory and they've probably just been blanched, so they're going straight into clean jars. I have all my jars ready to washed and cleaned. These are all jars that have come off supermarket shelves. I get people to keep them for me and there's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're great for canning. So get my first jar. You see what I'm doing? Now I've just I was adjusting my camera there so you can see what I'm doing. Nice clean hands, and I'm simply going to take, you don't need that just yet. I'm going to take these frozen peas, put them straight in the jars. I need to leave an inch head space, so I don't want to overfill. And that's quite easy to do. Just shake your jar a bit and check your head space. Now this looks like there's a little bit too much in here, so I'll just spoon a couple of bits out. I need to get the head space right for proper seal. Just give them a shake. And it's all trial and error here, so these jars are quite small compared to the ones I've been used to, but they will be absolutely fine. There we go. That's an inch headspace. And I just use this little tool that tells you your headspace is on here, for anybody that doesn't know. The next thing to do is just to fill to the inch. That wasn't supposed to go over the inch headspace with water. So I'm not quite there yet. This is all learning to me as well, so I want to make sure I get this right. Yep, so that's definitely an inch headspace. So from here to here is an inch from the top of the jar before it touches any liquid. Now what you want to do now is just get your tool down into the jar, and this is actually taking any air pockets out. Air pockets can hold bacteria, which you don't want, so just go around and in the centre give it a little tap. Check your headspace again. That's actually gone down a bit with the bubbles coming up, so I'll add in a little bit more water. And this is called cold canning. So it's cold jars, cold peas, cold water, and I've got my canner just sitting ready with 3 litres of cold water in it up to the first line. There's a little indicator on the actual canner that tells you where to fill your water up to. So I'm just going to pop a lid on. I wiped around the top of the jars as well to make sure there's nothing. I haven't been using anything, only the peas and fresh water, so I can use just water on a towel to clean the top of the jars. And when I'm happy that it's been debubbled, and the headspace is right, then I can go ahead and put my lid on. And with these screw lids, you have to get them as tight as you can on. That's one done. I'll just show you another couple, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do next. This seemed like a good idea at the time. We'll see how it works. Most people nowadays are looking for whatever offers on meat, whatever else you can get, so you don't want your freezer taken up with a load of big bulk vegetables. So we'll see if this works for me, and I don't see why it shouldn't. So that's a 1 inch headspace. I just go around the jar and debubble. Give them a good prodding just to get any air bubbles out. Check my headspace again, which is definitely 1 inch, and pop my lid on. Oh, I nearly forgot to clean the top. There's nothing on it, but it's just drummed into you to always clean your tops. If I was using anything with meat that would tend to have fat, any fat residue, then I would be using vinegar. I'm not sure how many jars I'm going to get out of this bag, but I'll keep filling what I have, and I can reprocess the rest off camera. I'll put my water in. Check the headspace for 1 inch, and you want to make sure everything's clean around where you're working. Clean towels, clean utensils, clean hands. Let's try again. A wee bit more water in here and clean it off. And pop my lid on. These jars are excellent. I love these Maribel. I'll just take you around here. So I'm sure you've seen this before, but I have my canner sitting here. This is a big Presto 23 quart canner. I've got up to the first mark, which is 3 quarts of water in here, cold water. Always put your tray in. You put your tray on the bottom so your jars aren't actually hitting the bottom. And what I'm going to do is just start layering these in. Don't put them too close together. Just straight down into the bottom of the canner. I'll get the rest done off camera and then I'll bring you back. Sorry guys, microphone wasn't turned on. So basically here all I'm doing is just rearranging the jars in the bottom, making sure the layer is nice and flat. I'm just bringing you around, let you see what it's like in the bottom. And I'm showing you the divider tray. It's another tray, the same as the one on the bottom. Put it on top of your jars so you can double stack. And I'm just putting the rest of the ready jars in. I can get probably about 18 jars in this canner, this 23 quart. Now I've got my lid. Excuse me. Always check your lid. That's the spout where all the steam comes out. Just check there's nothing stuck in there. Hold your canner up and look through that spout vent, and if you can see daylight, then you're good to go. Me with my wonky eyes there. I'm not exactly sure what I'm saying there. That's my weight, my 10-pound jiggler weight. It will be eventually going on that vent. And here, that's the little safety valve. Just make sure it's intact. And that's the lock. So always make sure it's tight. I've got my thumb on the top bit and turning the bottom bit so it's fairly tight. And just checking the gasket seal there. After each Canon episode, I take that out, wash it, and just run my hand with oil around it, just to keep it pliable. If you don't keep doing that, it can cause cracks. And everything looks good there. Now I'm just finding a little arrow. There's an arrow and there's a mark on the pot. So you put align the arrows and just press down there and excuse me, that's her sealed in. I'm moving the pot slightly just to get at the burner and repositioning it. Now, I'm not sure exactly what I'm saying there, but now I have my Instant Pot out and opened. It's an 8 litre Instant Pot. I'm putting a thin dry cloth in the bottom, and I went ahead and jarred up the sweet corn the same way as the peas. I'm just stacking them in on top of the cloth. Now I need water in my Instant Pot, so basically I'm bringing this to about a third way up the jars. And about to put the lid on. Do your same checks on your Instant Pot lid as what you would on your canner. You can see the steam starting to come out of my canner there. Just checking the gasket. Make sure the vent's okay and the release plug. Put the lid on. And just reaching for my book. It's a book with all the times in. It's the USDA one from America. It's got every vegetable timings in this book, and it's absolutely a priceless book. So I just wrote down what I needed for my corn and my peas. Setting the corn for 55 minutes as my jars are about pint size. Now here I'm just putting the Instant Pot on, so I've hit pressure cook, I've hit keep warm off. I want to make sure it's on high pressure, and I'm bringing the time up to 55 minutes. So pints is 55 minutes, quarts is 85, I believe. You can see the steam starting to come out. More steam coming out of the Presto there. I'm just going to leave the Instant Pot. Don't touch it at all until its time comes up. Here I'm just showing you the steam, or it's bellowing now. So at this stage I would have set a timer for 10 minutes, and I'm just waiting for the timer to come off. I'm showing you the weight, and I've just put the weight on. And it's important that once you get that heavy steam
stream of steam that you count 10 minutes, and that's the canner heating, all the steam's pushing the air out. You need to time that for exactly 10 minutes before you put your weight on. I'm just waiting here for jiggle, and you can see my gauge is up to 10 pounds. So I'm adjusting the heat now, turn it down in small increments. You can see a little jiggler starting to move there, and I don't set my timer until I've got that wee jiggler rocking constant the way I want it to. You don't want it rocking too erratic. If it's rocking too much, there's a chance you're letting too much steam out, and well, mine's only going to be running for a shorter time, but if you were doing a longer canning session, you could run dry, but that won't happen, not in this instance anyway. Okay, you can see it's going mad there, so I've switched back around and I'm turning the heat down again. You just want to turn the heat down in small increments until you're happy that you've got a constantly rock and it's not trying to fly itself off there. It just takes a wee while, you'll soon learn the sweet spot, which is where you can have your heat down and a wee constant jiggle. Takes a wee while but eventually you'll work it out. You'll know yourself what heat you need your pot at. Okay, so now I'm basically turning the heat off. Going to walk away and not touch anything. I'm going round to turn the gas off, and I'm going to just let my pot sit. Don't touch it. Don't attempt to lift the little jiggler off. There's still pressure in that pot. You just want to leave it, let it cool down itself until the jiggler stops rattling or moving and the pressure gauge has gone down to 0 and the little lock will go down. So basically, do not touch your pot. Once the lock has gone down, the one I'm pointing to there now, I'll just move the jiggler slightly with my finger. If there's any pressure, you'll hear a pressure noise, but after that I'll lift that off and then it'll be time for me to open the pot. I can't stress enough, guys, do not lift the weight off or do not move this around. And my instant pot's still going, it's still counting down there.
Morning guys, so it's the next morning. All my jars have been sitting here. They've been sitting all night, so I'm just going to check them to make sure they've all sealed. So I'm going to bring you over. I lay my ruler down, and if I can slip a piece of paper under, you can see that. That means that that jar is sealed, because the little pop ring in the centre has been sucked down in as the jar is cooled. So normally if you had just the jar in your hand, put a ruler on it, the ruler would be off or pushed up. So the button's definitely gone down, the little button, that's what it is. That's that one. Same for the peas. Just put your ruler on and make sure it's level. See if you can pop something underneath. It's definitely sealed. And basically that's the way I'm going to check all these. If I can't get paper underneath one, then that means it hasn't sealed properly for me, and I would just use it up. So these are all looking pretty good. You don't want to watch me do all these, so I'm happy with those. I can definitely get my paper underneath each one. So another way to do it is to do the tap test. If it's sealed, it'll make a completely different noise to if it wasn't sealed. It would make more like a drum when it's sealed, more like a tin can. If it's not sealed, you know the difference by the sound. So it looks like that's been successful. Still in my pajamas here. So what I'm basically going to do is just give all these a wipe with a warm soapy cloth. Just make sure there's nothing on the jars, which I'm 100% sure there's not anyway. But I just want them clean, going onto the shelf. So I hope you've enjoyed the process. It's all learning for me too, but I'm enjoying it. And if you like what you've seen, maybe you consider giving me the thumbs up and maybe share my video. I would like to see a lot more people preserving in Northern Ireland, but it's everybody's choice. Your kitchen, your rules, you do you. But thanks for being here, guys. And do you know what? If you even consider subscribing to my channel, I really want to put out a lot more videos, but it's getting the time to do it all. So I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. Have a good day, guys.